This week on Bedside Mogul, meet Linda Dominique Holland, who's a passive income coach that went from working fast food to unemployment to earning six figures with her first self-published book that sold 10,000 copies and literally changed her tax bracket. She's been seen on The Today Show, Modern Bride, and The Huffington Post. This week, she's going to teach us how to six-figure our passion. Hey, it's your girl, Dominique Hall here. I am here with the Bedside Mogul. This is when we have moguls that are making six figures with what God has given them, and they are literally collecting coins in their sleep. Tonight, I have Pastor Linda Holland that is joining us. She's going to tell us how to six-figure our passion. Man, I'm excited to just have you on here. Pastor Linda, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited. I've been anticipating this all day, so I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for saying yes, because, a lot of times, great things happen for folks, and they're afraid to share their wealth, and so I appreciate that here. So, okay, I cannot put the elevator speech on what you do, because I feel like you're everything that I want to do, right? And so when people bring me on, I used to be like, why do they ask me to talk about myself? Like, I used to hate that, right? But now because you are a serial entrepreneur and all those things. So if you could give us a quick snapshot of who Pastor Linda is, like what do you do in your business and all that great stuff?
Okay, well, I launched Six Figure Passion, which is my brand. It's a coaching brand, and it's where I teach people how to take just the innate gifts that are in them and monetize it. So Six Figure Your Passion, sixfigureyourexpertise.com, that's me too. Six Figure Your Income, all of that ties into whatever you were uniquely called to do. Like for you, Tamika, it's media. It's media all day, every day. So for someone else, it might be books. For someone else, it might be taxes. But whatever you are called to do, what I do is coach people on how to monetize it. My thing is, I always tell people there's no such thing as a seasonal business. When you monetize your business, you should be making money all year round. So like you said, those coins should be coming in. There shouldn't be any down periods, no dead seasons. It should be a continuous thing because, again, the Lord teaches us how to generate that wealth, and we have a right to that as believers.
So when you're talking about, there should not be a down season, with you having multiple businesses, because I know that you run an academy. In addition to that, you have a boutique, you write books, you are a paid blogger. So you don't just blog for fun, you blogging actually landed major media placements, like The Today Show, you know what I mean? And for those who do run multiple things, do you find that there's a season for specific sectors of their business or their enterprise that it's making money, or should everything be generating income all of the time?
I think that there are ways to automate your business. So no matter what you do, if you are launching something new, the automation keeps what you've already launched going forward. And we just have to learn how to do that, put systems into place so that, like you said, in your sleep, you're earning. I'm on vacation, I'm earning. I'm pushing the shopping cart through the supermarket, I'm earning. That's where you want to be. You never want to be at the point where you're babysitting social media and you're stalking your emails. You should have a business, and your business should be automated.
I love it. We should be babysitting our email.
Yeah.
During this down period, let me see here. Lloyda's saying that I have some feedback. Is it because the person that was trying to bump their music really loud outside? Let me know, Lloyda, because I want to make sure that we get really, really, really good sound. One of the things I've been really trying to do, Pastor Linda, is make sure that I am automating more things. Been so important for me and for business to make sure that things are automated, to make sure I have email scripts down, because I already see where I'm going to need an assistant. I mean, it's just so much happening right now, and so I'm already seeing it in the future. I'm going to need an assistant, but I'm going to have systems in place before I even bring somebody on. So I love that. said that. And I know people want to know, how did you manage to land placements on like the Today Show, the Huffington Post? How were you able to do?
Wow. I just think that when you are in your lane and you're doing what you're called to do and you're passionate about it, the opportunities just come, you know? So after I landed it, people wanted to know, well, who do you know and what's the connection? I was just doing what I was doing. And at that time, I had a shoe blog where I had a weekly shoe giveaway. And I had an editor reach out to me asking if I wanted to do an interview. So it just kind of fell in my lap. I'm trying to curl my hair. You know, the people from the show were on the way to my house. Back then I was living in Jersey, and it was just crazy. The opportunity just came. So, I mean, I think that when you're in your lane, you're doing what you're called to do, when you're focused and not, you know, in comparison mode, the opportunities will come. They will come.
That's something good right there. And I see folks and saying that's good. I mean, so you're operating in you're not comparing other people. First of all, I just need to say I wear 8.5. So if you decide to give away any more shoes, I need you to I'm your daughter. So you can go ahead.
Hey.
You have some nice shoes. So I definitely want some of those. So talk to us about staying in our lane. Talk to us about how to not compare ourselves to other people, because it's so easy, especially in social media. It's so easy to want to compare ourselves to somebody who is actually doing what we're doing, and it seems like they're getting ahead faster than we are. How to stop the comparison demon?
I mean, what I do is I actually limit my time on social media. So I know that when we're connecting to people, it's easy, like you said, to connect with someone who's doing the same thing that you're doing, who looks like, you know, they're getting more opportunities, and you're like, what about me? Those are times that I have to pull back and just refocus on what I was called to do and who I was called to serve. Just like the Today Show opportunity landed in my lap, other opportunities have too. And, you know, when you focus on what you are called to do, you know, and you limit the outside distractions, and, you know, don't be afraid to mute or unfollow or snooze if you have to, because you have to stay laser focused. That's how you get the downloads. That's how, you know, that's probably how you got the idea for this particular series here, being still and hearing what he's saying. And we need to do that. So whenever that rises up, you know, we have to just immediately just begin celebrating that sister, begin celebrating that brother, and then refocus on what you were called to do. Just like opportunities came for them, they're going to come for you too. It's a process. It's really just a process.
It's a process. So, okay, so we're about to get into some of the nitty gritty, right? So you sold 10,000 copies of the book, and you sold it during a time when social media was not even the giant. Now, Linda, I don't even know if you remember, Pastor Linda, I was one of your students, like back in 2005. When you were doing,
wow.
Yes, I had just published my first book, and I took an email course of yours, like, because I came across your book, and I feel like it had
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was on MySpace or something, and so I think at the time you were charging. This is how you know it's been a long time. I think you charged like $25.
Yeah.
Your book marketing course, right?
Yes.
Course lasted for like 7 days or something, and you get tasks to do. And y'all, everybody knows I get so emotional, but when I really think about just how good God is, when I think about it, that is one of my highest grossing books to date.
Amen.
I paid $5,000 with my first book. You know, launched a career with my book, and you know, I wrote the book. There was a need for it to be in the marketplace, but I had no idea what to do with it. And so I'm so glad that you charged $25, because at that time I was a single mama.
Yes.
And so you self-published your book, sold 10,000 copies.
Yes.
Come on, please tell us how you did that.
Wow. Yeah, it was, you know, it was just God and the hunger and the need to be able to feed my son that kept me going and pushing. So a lot of what I did, I learned through trial and error, you know, knocking on doors, reaching out to book clubs, you know, magazines. And back when I initially self-published this book, I mean, that was when, you know, self-publishing was still frowned upon. Nowadays, people are like, oh, a book is a book. You know, realistically it is. But back then, through trial and error, I just had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. So we're talking about...
It was real grassroots.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. And you're talking about in the era with AOL. So dialing up and all of that. I was in the chat rooms. I was, you know, in people's email and just, you know, like I said, trial and error. And whatever works, and this goes for business as a whole, whatever works, you keep doing more of what works. And if something isn't working, you don't do that. So, you know, that's the basis of what I did. So like I said, reaching out to people, editors, magazines, going to events, even though the majority of books I sold without even leaving New York City. So I was at home, I was on my computer, and people were just calling me like, you know, how did you do that? You know, the printer was like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Yeah, I had to eat.
There is something about not wanting to be hungry that will somebody's drive run after their dream. So one of the things that I tell people all the time, we have to get more grassroots again. You know, social media is great. Like, you know, I love media. Social media is a giant. And for those who don't use it properly, I think you're doing a disservice to your own brand, because it is primarily a free marketing tool for you. There's nothing like grassroots. There's having some books in the trunk. I was just talking about this last night. There's nothing like books in the trunk, selling the books out of your purse, right? Having books underneath your hat, you know, whatever.
That's right. Yes.
So, you know, what are some fears that you think people have when it comes to selling anything that they're doing, whether it's a product, whether it's a service? There is a fear that comes from hearing a no. So where does that fear come from?
Well, I think it's two-part. It's the first part is fear, right? And for most people, it's the fear of rejection. It's the fear of someone saying, no, I don't want it. I don't need it. What's that about? Or being scrutinized, like, what makes you an expert? What makes it okay for you to sell this product or write this book? What kind of authority are you? And then secondly, I think that people don't understand that, you know, part of selling anything, you need to be aware of who your audience is and where they are. You know, the analogy that I give all the time, if I have a store, right, and I'm selling red hats, and it's so funny when I saw you on, because I was getting ready to just slip on my pink fedora. I said, this is too much, but then you're a lot, so amen. But that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, but just find your audience. You need to know, because if I sell red hats, right, and my mom doesn't like red hats, my best friend doesn't like red hats, or my sisters don't like red hats, then that's not my ideal audience. I shouldn't keep pushing red hats on someone who that's not what they're looking for. So, you know, like with the business training vault where I teach people how to sell, you know, people are coming because they want to know the ins and outs, the inner workings, how to sell, how to keep pushing, and how to tap into their market, their niche, their ideal audience.
So you just dropped, you know, some golden nuggets right there.
Yeah.
Paper ready. The first thing, well, one of the things you said, you got to know your target audience.
Yes.
Target audience. That is so important, because you're right. If you're running to everybody, then perpetuate the fear that you have, because you're going to keep getting rejected by people. So, okay, what are some mistakes that you think that people are making nowadays in building a six-figure business?
Lots, lots. I
And
think that the first thing,
because you have a whole school dedicated to it. But
yeah, I do, right? Yeah. So I think the first thing people need to understand is you have to have a firm foundation for your business. Now, this is how I used to be. You know, God would give me so many different ideas and I'm just ready to launch everything. And he had to slow me down and get me to the place where I'm able to incubate an idea. So in that incubation period, he's telling me what's necessary, what I need, how to market it. I mean, he will map out a whole strategy for you if you let him do that. And, you know, part of building that firm foundation is understanding that people are going to buy into you before they buy a product. So they're not going to buy a hat, a book, you know, a planner, anything, unless they buy into you first. So that means you have to come across as credible. You have to come across, you know, giving value so that people can see the worth. You know, you don't want people to, you know, hear what you're doing and figure, well, I can Google it and find that out. You know what I mean? They want to know that you have that expertise, that you know what you're doing and you get results. And when people know that, you know, then they will opt into maybe a mailing list first. And then after that, they might buy your lower ticket item until next thing you know, they're in your course and they're spending hundreds to be taught whatever your area of expertise is.
so, Pastor Linda, when it comes to building a brand, you know, I have, and I'm telling you, people jumping on. Some people are recognizing the brand. Other people are probably here because they want to know how to get started. For those that have a small budget, because there are people that say, well, you shouldn't have a business unless you have at least $5,000. Don't agree with that. I started my radio station with $59. I started a company with $50 and started it because I needed to eat. Okay, you know. You know? If somebody's on a limited budget, what are a couple of things that they should invest in? You know, hitting the ground running with starting a brand.
I would definitely say a website and a coach. So definitely a website. When I started Six Figure Passion, I launched it with $600. So that's what it cost for me to get a professional website. So when people came there, and I'm laughing because before I started coaching, like years ago, maybe even when you took the marketing course, I might have been using Angel Fire or one of AOL's, you know, free web pages. And when people go to your website, they are going to have a first impression. Like, yes, I take her seriously, or no, I can't take her seriously with this website. So even if what you know is like six-figure material, you will lose people based on what your website looks like. So that's the first thing. Secondly, like I said, a coach. So it doesn't mean they have to coach you for months and months and months, but book a session with someone who can, you know, blow some fresh rhema on whatever idea it is that you have, right? Yeah. So, you know, get other eyes on it, because one of the things that happens, and this happens frequently when I do sessions, so I'm doing a coaching session and it's almost like, you know, those little green lines from the Matrix. God just starts sending downloads, and they're like, oh my goodness, you know, their minds are blown because, you know, they call me the midwife. Let me just put that out there, because I help people birth dreams, right? So when I'm on a coaching session, the ideas come, it flows, and, you know, I do what I'm called to do. That's my lane.
And, you know, I definitely want to mention that on your YouTube channel, you actually have many prayers where you pray over different areas, for finances. You pray over, you know, breaking the spirit of fear, you know, you pray over success. So folks, you definitely need to make sure that you connect with Pastor Linda, and definitely go to her YouTube, because it's authentic prayer, authentic. So, okay, let's kind of get even more into it. Is it possible to make seven figures with just one product? Or do you think, especially nowadays, you need to have more than one stream of income?
I think you can, because I think the key is getting the people who are your ideal audience to opt into whatever it is you're selling. So whether they opt into your mailing list, whether they're opting into, you know, your social media pages, you know, as long as you can get in front of the people who need what you have, and you understand, you know, how to just come across as someone who adds value. Here's one of my pet peeves, right? People who want to be taken, and no hate mail, please. People who want to be taken seriously in business, and then some of the posts and things they share, you know, are cursing people out and all kinds of stuff. When you want people to take you seriously and you want to reach that level where 6 and 7 figures is attainable, you have to understand that everything that you say out of your mouth has the ability to connect and draw someone to you, or turn them away from anything you're doing and anything that you're offering. And I think so many people forget that, because we get behind our screens and we're just like, oh, I can say what I want. This is my account. Yeah, it's your account. But if you're building a brand, you want to continuously add value. I'm not saying you can't be yourself, because I've seen you in the supermarket with the shopping cart doing your little dance, right? So be you. You are authentic, so people are drawn to you, and that's what we have to be, even in business.
I love it. Yeah, you got to be authentic, right? You know, our social media really is a billboard for for media, for possible collaborations.
Yes.
I really do think about those things, and you know, I work with clients and I want to pitch them to somebody. And I mean, this was just happening. I think just I wanted to pitch one of my clients to somebody in the media, and and told myself, like, I'm gonna go ahead and send you some of their links. I went to their social media and I was like,
yes.
said anything? Like, your social media doesn't even look up to par. You know what I mean? I have to work on this a little bit.
Yes.
Make a difference. Okay. People are gonna probably have something to say about it. You know, I don't care. All right. How do you feel about this? So I was actually speaking to one of my good friends today, and we were actually talking about the fact that people oftentimes will get stuck in the ministry side of whether it's releasing a book, maybe it's music, maybe it is a business of ministry, you know, some type of business, but it's kind of ministry oriented. You know, people will say, well, I don't even care if I make any of this. It drives me insane, because I'm like, that doesn't make you any more holy if you
That's right.
not to make any money. Pastor Linda, are we allowed to make a profit from our passion or from our skill set, even if it is a faith-based product or business?
Yes. Amen. Yes. Yes. We have to eat. I tell people all the time, you know, when I did all the trial and error with promoting my book and even launching, you know, my coaching brand and coaching people, that means, you know, I'm on hours and hours of webinars. I'm downloading books. I'm reading. You know, I have like 300, 400, 5,000 hours under my belt. You can't think you're going to pull up, go in the drive-through and get that for free. You can't. So it's profit. Definitely. Purpose, passion, profit. You've heard of that, right? Yes. That's my conference. And that's what we teach. We bring people in to speak and teach them that whatever your purpose in life is, whatever you're passionate about, you should be making a profit from it. Period.
And say you can be. You said you should.
Yes.
A profit. Yes. And I don't think that everybody's necessarily called to a life of entrepreneurship. I mean, I think it takes, you got to have a strong will. And you don't have boldness in the beginning, develop it, you know, in terms of going into entrepreneurship. But I think that if it does give some gifts, you absolutely make a profit from that. Of the God that we serve. The conference, Purpose, Passion, Profit.
Yes.
going to happen this year? Do you know?
Yeah, we actually moved it to October. It's usually every April, and I think October is better because the weather's cooler. We usually host it on the beachfront in Virginia Beach, Oceanside, and the people come in. But here's the thing, you're getting just as much impartation and activation as you are getting information on business, how to grow, how to be a brand, and all of that stuff. I think that it's so necessary because so many times we feel like you were just saying, as believers, should I be making a profit? God gave me an idea for this book. There are plenty of people who have invented stuff. You talked about everyone not being an entrepreneur, but if God gives you an idea, an invention, you launch it, you sell it, you lay on the beach, right? I mean, hey, listen.
Absolutely. So, folks that are tuned in right now, I hope that you are enjoying this. This is Pastor Linda Holland, and talking to us about how to figure our passion.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we can have a purpose, a passion, and we can make a profit from it. Perfect name of a conference. I love that. Perfect name. So right now, I want you guys to start putting your questions in the comments. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. House, I don't even know how to say your full name. House of Eros.
That's my sister.
Oh, hey, sis. Hey, boo.
House of Eros Bridal.
Yes. Thank you so much for putting the link down for that. If you have questions, start putting them in the comments because it's going to take it a second to get there. All right. So, Pastor Linda, I know you teach an entire class or an entire course on how to six-figure your passion. But if you would be willing, can you drop 3 nuggets for those of us that are tuned in? How can people begin to level up so that they can six-figure the passion that God has implanted in them?
Okay. First thing is that we have to realize that tests build testimonies, and we can actually launch products based on our testimony, whether it's a book, whether it's a radio show, whether it's a conference like I'm hosting. Whatever God brings you through, it's not just for you, it's for other people that you're going to come in contact with. So just always realize, because so many people I hear are saying, what am I called to do? I don't know if you've been through something, that's your product, that's your idea right there. You just have to learn how to package it so that people can easily partake of it and, grab a hold of the nuggets that you learn, going through the process. Second, I would definitely say do what you love. In this day and age, there are people who will steal someone's idea because it looks like it's very lucrative, right? But you need to stay in your lane and do what you were called to do, because that is the thing that's going to move you into 6, 7 figures or 8 or however many zeros God wants to add to it. Stay in your lane and focus on what you love. So, I know people who are hosting events because they went to an event and it was nice. If God is not saying to launch it, that's probably not your lane. If you love to bake, do something around baking. If you love to do hair, do something around hair. I think I was doing a live a couple of weeks back, and I'm saying, even in the quarantine, make some buns. If hair is your lane, make some buns. Clip on, add something to it, and sell it while people are quarantined.
Okay, you better make a hair bun.
Yes, make a bun. Okay. Yeah, and just focus on the fact that you can earn. Right? So a lot of times we grab a hold of scripture like Deuteronomy 11:11, 1:11, we grab onto the scripture where, God wants us to have wealth and we're standing on it. But one of the things, and this is what I teach my clients, because for a while I had been running into roadblocks with my clients. So the roadblock was that, they weren't feeling adequate. They weren't feeling like they measured up. And that means that you have inner soul issues that you have to deal with. Otherwise, everything you launch can just fail, auto fail by default. You have to deal with those inner issues so that you know whose you are and you feel worthy enough to carry that mandate, that assignment that he's giving you to move forward and launch and grow it big.
And you know what? You're so right. I failed in 9 different times. I mean, 9 separate businesses that completely, you know, people would say that they were a failure. And it got to a place where I was afraid to do anything because I was just like, I used to feel like a golden girl. I went feeling like everything I touched was gold. And then all of a sudden, here I am, I'm just failing. Every time I turn around, I'm losing money somewhere. And then I finally sit down and figure out where to go wrong. I was not, first, I didn't believe that I could earn. That was one thing. I love what you said about that. My customer service sucked. It was horrible. I felt like I could run a business and not talk to people. I didn't like people. So, Pastor Linda, I'm trying to tell you, I didn't like people. I was like, why do you need to talk to me? And I'm publishing your book. We can do all of this through email. I mean, like,
right.
How am I doing that in 2006? Come on, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to talk to people when things would run long. I was not communicating, saying, hey, I need a little bit more time. I those things. It was crazy.
Right.
But then when I decided to go ahead and launch again, and I learned from my failures, being some of the best lessons ever, I was able to start making a profit. It was not so by happenstance that it was happening. It was because I was being intentional about what I was doing. It was,
man, that's good.
So I love that. Just add a couple more nuggets. Anybody have any questions for us? Because we are winding down. I know Pastor has to get to her hubby and stuff. Oh, y'all not gonna have me.
He's okay right now.
He's okay right now.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Linda, how can people connect to you? How can they find you online? How can they join the Academy, Six Figure Your Passion?
Yeah, actually, you can log on to my website, sixfigureyourpassion.com, and in the drop-down menu, you will see Work with Me, and I have courses, I have crash courses. You can connect, you can email if there's something you want or something that I mentioned that you can't find on there. But right now, what I'm urging people to do, if you already have a product out there and you're ready to sell, you can just hit the link in my bio to sign up for the business training vault. Lots of trainings for those who are new in business, and even, those who are seasoned in business, and there might be some things that they just didn't realize, wow, I should be doing this. This is how I reach my audience. This is how I sell. So I have lots of modules and I'm adding every month to it. Just reach out to me, Miss Princess Dom. That's what I am on YouTube. That's what I am on Twitter. That's what I am on Instagram. So I'd love to connect with more of you and help anybody who has an idea that needs to be birthed.
Yeah, and Tanya wrote customer service. Yeah, I'm so afraid of people. Pastor Linda, how did you overcome fear of people if you ever had it?
Actually, I had to be, deliver from it. But, it was a process I had to go through because I was the same way. I'm not a real, there are a few people that I would talk to on the phone, but for the most part, I'm not a phone person. So there was no customer service number. My emails, I'm just like, so it was a process. I had to start taking my brand serious, and I had to realize that, great customer service is what's going to keep people coming back. You're not trying to get that one sale or that one invoice paid. You want people to say, she did such a stellar job. Not only am I coming back, I'm going to tell everybody that I know about her and her services. So when that's the kind of service that you get, you don't mind sharing it and you don't mind coming back. Repeat, repeat, repeat. There are a couple of brands that I actually love because their customer service was so great and how they handled any mix-up, that I had from purchasing something and maybe it didn't work or I didn't fully understand something. So great customer service goes a long way. It speaks for you and your brand, even if you're not saying anything.
Yeah, and for example, Chick-fil-A. First of all, because they are a faith-based company.
Yes.
Service is amazing. When they're like, my pleasure, I'm like, you're welcome. Okay.
Yes.
You know, I a sandwich, honey. I'm proud of it, you know, proud that it's your pleasure. I love it. I love it. Well, Pastor Linda, this has been great.
Yeah.
Folks that are still just pouring in, if you missed the entire our entire mini masterclass, definitely going to want to go back and watch it. It's only going to be available for 24 hours before I remove it. Maybe less than that before I remove it.
Yeah.
To our vault of video and things like that. But this has been great. We've gotten so many nuggets from how you went about selling 10,000 copies before social media was what it was, right?
Yeah. That's wild. Even when I think about it, it's wild.
Yeah, because there's almost no excuse for us to be able to sell books now.
That's right.
Because we don't even have to knock on people's doors anymore.
But can I say this real quick? There is one thing that, you know, I always caution my clients never do. You know, when someone friends you on Facebook or they friend you or follow you on Instagram, and first thing they're doing is inboxing you a link. That is the best way to get blocked, and that's the best way to get no sales. So if you do that, stop.
It is annoying.
Yeah.
The other thing is to even on top of it, in your timeline, every single post should not be a sales post. You know, you talked a little while ago about, you know, producing great content.
Yes.
You always have to remember that we're servants at the end of the day. I don't care what it is that you're selling.
That's right.
So whatever it is you're doing, you have to produce great content, and it cannot always be, hey, buy my book, hey, buy my book, hey, buy my book. Buy whatever it is that somebody's. It is annoying.
Yeah, and the great message in that is that even Jesus served. So we need to serve by way of offering good content. It's not just about, like you said, the book or the book cover. Show us something else you're doing. Tell us what you learned. Tell us the process of writing the book, how long it took you, what the light bulb moments were for you. When you start sharing different kinds of things like that that aren't coming across like a sales pitch or a commercial, people will buy. People will buy.
And, you know, even if you're doing things like, for example, when people go and they look at your brand, some of what you do is you love clothes, you love shoes. Inside your life, we get to see inside your great closet. I'm like, I just want to come sleep in your closet.
Come on over.
I'm going to hug the shoes, like all the pink shoes. I'm just going to hug the shoes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do. And, but people love what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And honestly, you said it. We have people buy into us before they ever that we are selling. And so they know you. They're willing to go through your life.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing. I'm an introvert, right? So I can just watch movies, eat white cheddar popcorn, and snuggle up on the couch, right? But I have to come out of my shell because I understand people want to know about me. I bought your book. I loved it. You know, I have to be able to interact with the people and share pieces of me, even though I love to be super private. People want to know you. And once they know you and they feel comfortable, they'll hop on what you're selling. Yeah.
And I know people are going to think I'm lying, but the closest people to me know I'm actually very shy, and I am introverted, right? So
really, wow.
No, people.
I'm learning stuff today.
The term is where you're an extroverted introvert. I don't know what I can't remember the term, but that is me. I'm actually very shy, and like I said, folks who actually know me, you know, very closely. They know when you see me off camera. I mean, I am who I am, but when you're chilling in my space, I don't really talk a whole lot. Like, you know, I'm chilling out. So, unfortunately, me dancing in the grocery store.
That was so cute.
Yeah, it's not put on. You know, I'm behind my mom in the store, and I'll be like, "Stand by your man." Like, I just get this like ridiculous twang, and I'll see from. But I'm just like, one day at a time, sweet Jesus. Like, I don't know. It just comes out, right? But I am still introverted. But I learned that with everything that God do, I had to learn how to talk to people, and I couldn't be afraid of them. And I had to be very confident in what I was offering. So y'all, introverts can make money too.
Yes, yes. Yeah, because that's me all day, every day. And, the key for us, though, who are introverts is after you do all the singing and dancing and webinar, then you have to sit down and replenish somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you turn on and then you rest.
When I was doing praise and worship, I saw some of the folks on there that I used to do praise and worship with. We would do praise and worship. I'm hype. I'm always the hype radical one,
Yeah.
God, it really is the truth because it was always swinging everywhere. But when it was over, I would sit in my car. I was in my car for 10 minutes. I have to for a little bit, recharge, and I'll come back. Yeah.
Wow.
So listen, folks, I want you to stay connected. Pastor Linda, give us your website again so that folks can connect with you and join the academy. I'm actually joining the academy as well because we always need more tutelage.
Awesome. So sixfigureyourpassion.com. And when you go there, the Millionaire Lab is it. So that's where I do, it's my group coaching platform where I do the live trainings every month. I usually take a poll and ask people, what do you want to learn this month? And we go that way. And then I break it down, dissect it, upload it, and they have access to it. So you can log onto my website. You can sign up. I'm just excited. I'm just excited for what God is doing in this season, particularly because one of the things, and I'll say this in parting, that God is a master of teaching us how to prosper in the midst of famine. So many would consider what's going on now famine, like people don't have jobs, but there are people in the kingdom who are still making money, lots of money, revenue, and there's no deficit. Why? Because there is no lack in heaven. There's no deficit. There's no, God doesn't need a stimulus because he has endless supply, right? So as long as we're listening and we are following the steps to launch and do it the way he said, and we're in our lane, we will always have more than enough and cup running over.
We will have more than enough.
Yeah.
Running over. Well, thank you so much for being on this episode of Bedside.
Thank you.
You're so awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, folks. Make sure that you go to BEDSIDEMOGUL.com or TamikaHall.com. There you'll be able to catch all of the replays and all of that good stuff. If this has been great for you, inbox me, follow Pastor Linda, inbox me, let me know, how it helped you, how it has impacted you. I want to hear from you. I love you guys. Remember, created to make God famous. You guys be blessed and make those coins.
Yes.
That's a good one. I like it. Keep that at the end of
Put it on a T.
Put that on a t-shirt. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You have a blessed one. Thank
you too. Okay. Thanks.